Have you ever looked around and felt like everyone else knows something you don't? Like everyone got handed a secret instruction manual for life, and somehow yours got lost in the mail. People seem to know what career they want, how relationships work, how to make decisions, how to be confident, how to move forward without constantly questioning everything. And then there's you, looking around thinking, how does everyone seem so sure? Why does everything feel harder for me? What am I missing? Here's the strange part. Almost nobody admits they feel this way, but far more people do than you realize. Because most people aren't walking around with certainty. They're walking around with performance. And there's a huge difference. The person who looks confident, they're guessing. The person who seems like they have everything figured out, they're adapting. The person whose life looks perfectly organized, they're struggling with things you can't see. But your brain doesn't compare your reality to their reality. It compares your reality to their appearance. And psychologically, that's where the problem begins. Your brain is constantly filling in missing information. When you see someone successful, you don't see the confusion. You don't see the mistakes. You don't see the nights they questioned everything. You only see the finished picture. And then you compare it to your unfinished one. Of course you're going to feel behind. But here's something even deeper. Many people who feel like they missed the manual for life are actually highly self-aware. They're not blindly following a path. They're questioning it. They're analyzing it. They're trying to understand why they're doing something before they commit to it. And while that creates confusion, it also creates depth. Because certainty is easy when you never question anything. Awareness is what makes things complicated. That's the first thing most people never realize. The second, life was never supposed to feel this clear. Nobody is given a roadmap. Nobody reaches adulthood and suddenly understands everything. Most people are building the plane while flying it.
They're making decisions with incomplete information. They're learning as they go, just like you. The difference is that some people hide the uncertainty better. The third thing is this. You might feel lost because you're measuring yourself against timelines that were never yours. By this age, I should have this. By now, I should know that. I should be further ahead. Says who? Most of those expectations weren't created by you. They were borrowed from family, from friends, from social media, from people who are on completely different journeys. And every time you compare your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 15, you convince yourself you're failing, when really, you're just reading the wrong story. And here's the truth that changes everything. Maybe feeling like you didn't get the manual is actually a sign that you're paying attention. Because people who think deeply often realize something most people avoid. Life is uncertain. There is no perfect map. There is no guaranteed path. There is no moment when everything suddenly makes sense forever. And oddly enough, accepting that is what finally creates peace. Because once you stop searching for the manual, you start building your own. One decision, one mistake, one lesson, one experience at a time. The people who seem like they have life figured out aren't following a secret guidebook. They're just trusting themselves enough to keep moving. And maybe that's what you're learning too. So if you've been feeling behind lately, if you've been feeling like everyone else got instructions you somehow missed, take a breath. You're not broken. You're not failing. You're just becoming aware of something most people spend years trying to avoid. Nobody really knows exactly what they're doing. Some people are just better at pretending. And if this felt a little too relatable, leave a comment that says, "Still figuring it out." because you'll quickly realize something important. You're a lot less alone than you think.